Due to explicit content and language, listeners' discretion is advised. Black in Thought.
All right. Let's get started. You may learn something.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Welcome to Black in Thought, where we take a look at current and cultural issues, applying that Afrocentric drip to them. Your hosts tonight are... We got the Professor, Dale, JB, D, and me, Ill Will. So tonight, we're going to kind of change up some things a little bit. We're going to get a little bit lighthearted, but we're still going hard in the paint like we always do. Tonight's topic is going to be relationships as they relate to men and women. Relationship goals, just the men and women relationships. So, this is something we really haven't touched on, but a lot of us really wanted to touch on it. And so we thought, what better perfect time? Everybody's locked up in the houses, usually for the COVID and things like that. So, we're going to get it started. Got one of my friends I've known for a long time. She's going to help out on this topic as well. Her name's Renee. So we're going to get her on the line here in just a second. And let's make it happen like we do in Black in Thought.
18 years old, first heartbreak. And it went just like this. I loved you more when I knew you didn't need me. And when I had heard that, I was 18 years old, and I think she was about 16 and a half. She was my first love. And I said, well, what do you mean by that? She says, I loved you more when you didn't need me. Mm-hmm. You gave me something to work for. You gave me something to work towards. And it took me a long time to understand what she meant. And as young as she was, she understood, but I didn't, right? Relationships are so complex because men and women are so different. Men are designed to lead, women are designed to follow, right? And because we have so much responsibility in terms of heading the household and leading, we ain't got time to need nobody. We're making shit happen. Keeping the bills paid, keeping the lights on, keeping food on the table, so on and so forth.
Renee, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right.
Hi, Renee.
Today's, like I told you before, today's going to be about relationships and, how we relate to men and women and stuff like that. Didn't mean to cut you off, Professor, but we got on the line while we could. So, so chime in whenever you feel free. When you hear something, say something, do whatever. This is a normal conversation. So, if you can keep going back on, Professor.
How you doing, Renee?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good. You mind if I call you Nay?
That's fine.
So, Nay, when I was
Trouble.
when I was 18, my first love, she told me, she said, I loved you more when I knew you didn't need me. And I was heartbroken by that because I didn't understand what she meant. Now, she understood what she meant, but I didn't understand what she meant, right? So as I got older, I said, well, what does that mean? Why is it so bad for a man to need a woman? But then I realized, in terms of biblical order, our job is to provide you with security and not you our security, right? So
Right.
As I got older and I realized and started working and putting things in perspective, it's my job to carry the team. It's my job to make sure food is on the table and the electric's on and the heat is on and our family has everything. But what I didn't understand is, with us providing all those things, who replenished us? What was okay for us to ask for in terms of being able to continue to do what we're doing? So it just confused me, but I understood, to this day, I understand what she's saying, that it's not our job to need our women, it's our job to provide for our women in terms of relationships. Because when a woman realizes that you don't need her, she does everything in her power to try to please you. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm kind of torn actually, because I actually feel like it's okay for both parties to need each other. I'm more of a person that I feel like we could be a team together. So in my relationship, I want to be able to build with somebody. I want to be able to lift each other up. I know no relationship is perfect, and no relationship is always going to be me at 100% and him at 100%. There's going to be days that I may have to carry you, and there's going to be days that you're going to have to carry me. So I don't know if I necessarily agree with what you're saying. I understood, but I think I view things a little differently.
So Nate, I got one question, and I like what you just said about there's times I have to carry him and he might have to carry me. But the man is the head of the household, and sometimes when you have to step in for him, and you have to contribute in a way that he's not able to at that moment, are you still able to respect him as the head of the household when you have to step in and do certain things that he's not able to do? Because we're all designed to have roles, right? So when that young lady told me that she loved me more when I didn't need her, basically what she was telling me is your role is to provide my security. My role is to take care of your home and take care of what you're providing, right? So are you telling me even though this man may need your assistance and you may have to supplement the things that he falls short on, would you still be able to follow his lead if you had to step in and contribute?
Well, firstly, for me, I'm a spiritual person. So firstly, somebody I'm going to go, if he's a spiritual man and he is, and has always led me, and then this temporary time I need to step in, I'm not going to have a problem with having to step in. I don't see a problem with that. I mean, now, if this is something where this man is doing this all the time and this has become a habit, then that may become an issue with me. But if this is, I don't see an issue with helping somebody out for a temporary moment, or even if he may have been a great provider for all these years and lost his job and put me through school, and now I'm making great money and I can carry us because maybe his business failed. I don't see any harm with me being the provider. I'm not going to look at him any less of a man at that point because he carried me through all that.
But so hold on. So real quick, I'm sorry. So you said if he has a pattern of where you have to supplement, then you're going to have a problem with it, right? Is that what you're saying?
Right.
So for better or for worse doesn't mean anything to you, right?
Well, for better or for worse, I mean, it does mean something because.
But you just said that.
Let her answer.
Let her answer.
I apologize. You have a fan club. I apologize. Yeah.
You said what?
You have a fan club.
No, I'm just letting her answer. Everybody get a chance to talk.
That's like you asked this question.
But you don't want the truth.
What color is the sky? The sky is. You ain't answering the question.
So Nate, what I was saying is, if he has a habit of dropping the ball, you're saying that his ability and authority to lead is null and void, correct?
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying to you is sometimes people can come into relationships, and I am a firm believer in this. Sometimes people can come into a relationship and they present themselves as a person one way for 6 months to a year. And then you get with them, and then after you marry them or after you're comfortable or whatever the heck might be going on at that time, then they change.
You get me?
And then it's like a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde type thing. And so I don't feel that would be fair for me to have to stay in a relationship when you presented to me that whole year and a half or 2 years or whatever it was when you were courting me, that you were a provider and that you was going to take care of me and you was the head of the household and everything was great. And then after we get married or after you get comfortable, then you change. You expect me to be able, because that's not the person that you sold to me in the beginning.
I'm so glad you said that, Nate. I'm so glad you said that, because I'm assuming that your wedding vows were, you are to provide me with what you showed me in the beginning, rather than.
I wouldn't say
that.
Hold on,
I'm not done. I am not done.
You got to be done right now.
No.
You got to give somebody else chance to talk.
No.
You got to give somebody else.
No. I'm going to ask my question. Make it
quick.
My point is, so if they switch up on you, as you say, and your wedding vows are through thick and thin, for better or for worse, through sickness and in health, You can't honor that because of what they showed you initially.
Those vows was built
Professor,
on.
you
not done.
Well, Professor,
I'm not done. I got a point. I got a point.
As
So you also got to let somebody else
Tell
talk.
him
So you're saying that
you say what? Yeah, make a
if they
claim.
showed you
let-
something in the beginning and then 6 months to a year later they switched up on you, you couldn't continue to follow their lead?
What I'm saying to you is, I will come to that person and we will have a conversation. And if I keep having, because I'm big on communication as well. So if I communicate,
Most
to
women
you,
are.
Well, I can't help that most men aren't. But if I come to you and I communicate and I say, here are my issues, and I lay them out on the table, and you don't choose to either change or we either fix it, go to counseling, whatever the case may be to change it, then you're also showing me that you don't want this marriage as well. So why should I be the one?
But you said for better or for worse.
Hold on, Professor. Hold on.
But so did he. So why am I the only one that has to be for better or for worse?
I
and
agree
when
with
you do for better or for worse, it needs to be both parties need to be equally in it. That's why I said before, sometimes it's going to be I'm giving 100%, and there's going to be sometimes he's going to be giving 100%, and I may be giving 30%. But you both have to equally fight for it. If you're not, then I'm not staying in nothing with nobody if we're not equally putting in an effort.
Hit that button.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you, Nay, on that. And one thing I'll say on the professor's comment, you present it in a way that if the man isn't living up to his role, his role, shit, say the woman ain't living up to her abilities or her role.
Because there's some shit she got to do too.
Right. So
It goes both ways.
It goes both ways, man.
It goes
So
both.
right.
Absolutely.
If you provide and you making things happen, and things are being taken care of and provided for, and you provide security,
And you ain't getting what you need?
and you ain't getting what you need, you ain't gonna be like, you know what, this is for better or for worse. I don't care if my needs ain't getting met. I'm gonna stick this out because it's for better or for worse.
Why you sound like a slave, man?
Master.
No, but
We
don't talk like that on this show.
But look,
Okay.
I do agree though. I do think that sometimes it's okay that if the man may fall on short hard times, and if his
'Cause
woman
it happens.
it happens. If his woman can pick him up,
It does.
you are a team. It's not an I. It's a team.
Yeah, team.
And in
Absolutely.
in that teamwork, both halves have to be given 100%.
You work together, not apart.
Absolutely. And sometimes you're going to give 120%. I mean, sometimes you're going to give more than your partner. And I tell people all the time, sometimes it may go on for more than a week or whatever, and you're feeling like, oh, I just can't do it. But you have to, if that's something that you both want to do, then you're going to have to communicate to your partner until you just see no more that they're not in it no more. They're not giving you what you need. And it's just, you're not getting your needs met, then you need to walk away. But
how long?
I feel like if you get
How
Go
long
ahead.
do you stay in that situation? I guess to say, to where you feel like you've made it to the brink to where you feel like your needs are no longer met, and just say you've had conversations. I guess when do you get to the point that enough is enough, or do you keep
Well,
trying to stick it out?
that's a personal thing.
Yeah.
Because
I love the same
everybody's
thing.
breaking point is totally different. I can't tell you if your spouse is cheating on you or whatever, that's going to be your breaking point. Because for me, my spouse may be whooping my butt, but that may be my breaking point. So, it's going to be a personal thing for you to decide. But everybody knows when they're at their wits' end and at their rock bottom, and I'm just done.
And I think to answer your question, Will, I think it's honesty with yourself. Being honest with yourself. A lot of times people, men and women, I'm not going to say women, but men and women will try to convince themselves of, oh, it ain't that bad, or
Yes.
he's working on her, or she's getting better. And like, you got to be honest with yourself. And if you be honest with yourself and you can really sit down and look at the scenario and say, my spouse is not even trying to make this work, then I guess, like kind of what you were saying, Renee, is that's the breaking point.
But what about perception is everything. So one person perceives it to be,
True.
I'm doing everything, and then the other person doesn't, and then flip-flop, the other person perceives, they're doing everything. So,
But I would say with the perception thing, if you're truly trying, and not just saying, if you're truly trying,
Your actions,
and
not
through
just
your
words.
Actions, not
yeah,
words.
your spouse is gonna see that. So I don't think that's gonna be. I don't think that's going to be a major factor in a decision of perspective, because maybe you're still falling short, but you're still trying. You're still giving those actions,
yes,
and you're still moving forward. Maybe you're not where they want you to be, but you're still progressing to that. That. So I think with that, unless you just have a spouse that just be like,
fuck it,
exactly.
And if they say fuck it, that's obvious.
Yeah.
It's obvious.
We done.
And I was going to say that because I was in a relationship just a while ago, and the person knew I was changing, and we were going to counseling, and they could admit to the counselor that I was doing everything right, and I had changed and been doing it for 6 months, but they weren't doing what the hell they need to do. And so we stayed stagnant, and the relationship ended because I felt like they were narcissistic, and they were just controlling and had a whole bunch of stuff that I feel like that he had to deal with himself.
I know somebody.
So, and then I also felt like too, when you guys were just saying, it's a lot, because I was in a relationship where I felt like somebody wasn't we weren't having sex for 2 years.
Damn.
And we were together for a total of 4.5.
Hold on a second. Let's go.
I'm sorry.
Hold on, you woke him up.
Yeah.
How does that
Flag
happen?
on the play.
Hold
I gotta
on,
review the play.
Renee,
you
hold on a
said
second.
2 years.
Yeah.
So who
2 years.
So who are you getting it from, Nay?
I wasn't.
So you was locked up for 2 years?
He was.
Well, no, when we honestly lived together, and so we lived together, and he had said it was stress, and
for 2 years he was stressed out. That nigga's dick was working for 2 years. Trust me. I get stressed out, my dick come right back. I was stressed out over the weekend. Throw that pussy up.
He claims he wasn't. He claims. I mean, we lived together, and I honestly, and sometimes you can feel
hold on a second.
I didn't feel like he was cheating. I promise I didn't.
After 2 years not giving you none?
Hold on a second, Professor. Hold on a second. Renee, hey, this JB. Quick question for you. So for 2 years, I guess I'm just trying to walk through that.
He didn't play in the box for 2 years.
Hold on a second, Professor. So I'm just trying to walk through that. How did you get to a point to where
good point.
you were at you was at 6 months, and then you got to a year, then you got to 18 months, and
2 years,
and then like I guess I'm trying to understand, like go ahead.
Okay, in all fairness, okay. So when we first started dating, I was married.
Okay.
I had been separated from my husband for a couple years, and the person knew that I was separated, and we entered into a relationship. We were having sex for the first 2 years, like crazy. And then my mom had passed away. It was some stressors.
Okay.
And so when my mom passed away, I own a home. I inherited another home. And so when I inherited the other home, he decided he wanted to move in with me. And he's a deacon, and so we didn't live together at that time. So he moved in, and I guess the financial burden of the 2 houses, and he also owned a house, well, the 3 homes, was a lot. I think because he was a man's man, and as you guys were saying earlier, had the mail roll, pay the bills, all that. I think the financial burden of all that was a lot. I don't think he took into account for all that. So he did it for a while. Well,
so the
we
burden
did it for a
caused the
while.
limp stick.
And then he, I guess, just, I don't know. He claims that was it. So, but then he told me he stopped wanting to have sex as well because I was still married. So I got a divorce. And I thought that it was going to be on, and after that, and it still wasn't. So we ended up ending the relationship over that because I couldn't deal with it no longer, and I start being unfaithful.
Do you think that, do you think that maybe
2 years?
I don't blame you for
man, I mean, like
the point is this. He couldn't handle it because so he threw in this morality. I can't be with you because I'm a deacon. That nigga knew what he was getting into. He already knew. You know what I'm saying? And then when the stress hit him, I'm gonna fuck. if you a man, no matter what stress hits you, you gonna handle that shit. Because I'd have been under some stress.
Yeah, I
you know
feel
what I'm saying?
like I feel
but
like
I still would have been right on them draws.
Some of what Professor is saying
that's my
is,
purge. That's my purger. You know what I'm saying? I'd have been purging your ass.
Okay, so what it sounds like
The
from
views
my
of the professor is not of the Black in Thought. Disclaimer.
That's the disclaimer you got to put on.
Listen.
Hey, but listen.
I mean, but I understand because I mean what he's saying because I mean if I see my woman, I'm getting it up like Viagra. I mean, there is
I got one question.
I got one
question.
Hold on, let
Let
JB finish.
I do think that there probably is some truth that he probably has some conviction about it because at the beginning, like you said, things was going on, and then you were still married / separated at the time. Once you got divorced, it put more pressure on him psychologically to say, okay, this is moving into another area now that I really got to probably make some type of commitment to this. Or what's happened. This ain't just playing around no more. Yeah. This woman has done this here. So now it's like, am I really ready to take
next step forward?
And she called his bluff.
Exactly.
She called the motherfucker's bluff.
So that's what I think led to that. That's what I'm reading in that situation.
He wasn't ready.
Right, exactly.
Because I'm going to tell you, I'm married now.
He was ready as long as she didn't get a divorce.
Let me tell you, I'm married now, but before I was married, my current wife I met while I was married. We were separated. She was moved out. I met her while I was married. We started dating and all that. And she talked about me getting divorced, this and that. She called my bluff. I got divorced. But once I got divorced, things got better between me and her. So what I'm saying is that he wasn't ready. Once he called, like Professor said, when he called his bluff, he wasn't ready for that commitment.
Because if he had been ready, he would have rose to the occasion.
Once she got divorced, he knew the shit fell on his shoulders.
Right.
He was good with it for her being married and already consumed. But because he had no liability.
He had to become that man.
Yeah.
Right.
But and listen, I know niggas like that. You know what I'm saying? And
I don't.
And then all of a sudden, he's no longer sexually interested. You walk around with some panties on, your ass getting tore up. I don't give a fuck how stressed I am.
First of all,
clear point blank.
How are y'all
You know what I'm
saying?
saying?
Hold on, I'm so
put some
confused
title
right
on.
now. I'm
gonna take care of them bills.
Hold on, Mr. Professor.
Yes, sir.
I'm so confused
I'm ready
right
to go
now.
home.
And the reason why I'm confused because y'all giving this man, y'all said that it was the stress.
I ain't say no.
What you talking about?
Y'all talking about? I'm saying is,
hold on, let me finish.
All these reasons.
We get nigga shit.
I'm saying y'all gave him all. I ain't saying it was right. I'm saying y'all gave him these reasons why he didn't do anything for 2 years.
That was them.
This motherfucker that was no pussy for 2 years.
He was cheating.
Who does that?
He was cheating.
That's what I'm saying.
He was a deacon. He doesn't cheat. He's a deacon.
It wasn't.
He's a deacon. He doesn't cheat. He's a deacon.
Dude, he was cheating.
Nah, man. What I'm saying.
Not having sex for 2 years.
Nah, dude.
Hold on. So let me tell you.
So
he come home.
Hey, hold on a second.
And his shit
Renee,
there. He don't want that shit.
Was he married at the time?
I think no. So I think within the 2 years we may have done it maybe like 4 times.
Shut the fuck up.
2 years.
No. What I'm saying is, was he
That's a weekend.
before you got divorced? Was he married or in a relationship at the time?
No.
Nay, can I say
I met
something?
him online.
Let's
Nay, can I say one thing?
Let's move on from
Nay.
Let's move on from
Nay,
her.
can I say real quick?
From the 2 years. This is the last thing from the 2 years.
Real
This
quick.
shit weird.
Listen, real quick. If you was my woman and you walk past, I'm not done. And you walk past me with the panties on.
You've already
got real cross.
I know.
Listen, that motherfucker.
Yeah,
I don't know. You got to do a run of 50 on his ass.
Yeah.
But moving forward, I just want to. I know we on the 2 years, but I was just trying to get to this.
4 times.
Hold on a second. So,
God damn.
So after the divorce
That's
happened,
Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter, and New Year's Eve.
Dang.
I'm just saying. I'm kind of holidays.
Niggas.
Let JB.
I apologize.
So after the divorce, did you have any inclinations or any suspicions that he was still playing around or messing with other women?
No, I never felt that. And like when my husband, the reason I left my husband was because he was a cheater. I felt it. I knew it. And, you know, when you go look for stuff, you find it. He was. Yeah. I never felt that with him at all. Never had an inkling at all. None, honestly.
I like that word.
So I have a question for you, and maybe other men want to know this. What made you stay for 2 years, not being satisfied. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't hear that. I was talking.
He was a good man. Everything else, and you know what? In all action, he was a great man besides that area. So, and he was a great provider. He was a great man. And I was talking to my best friend, and I told him that, I struggled with that because we're separated, or we left. We're not together now, but and he tried to get me after I left him for a year, get me back, and wanted to get married and all that. And then I had moved on at that point. And now I'm looking back and I'm like, did I make a mistake?
I'm gonna go back. This is Dale.
Thank you.
So I'm gonna go back to you said he's a good man. And the reason why I asked you that is because I have a lot of female friends, and we get on these conversations all the time, and they like, why? And in my mind, I'm like, why are you with this guy? Why are you sticking with him? And they say the same thing.
Because I love him.
Or he's a good man.
He provides.
Does this, and it just, in my mind, it does not make sense. Okay, he provides, right? He's this, he's that. But at the end of the day, you're not happy.
I'm gonna tell you something about that. Go ahead.
And you gotta be
not
horny.
happy. Okay. So if you're not happy, I don't care if he makes $1 million. I don't care if he pays the bills, whatever the case may be. If you're not happy, why are you in this relationship? And that's the question I never get answered.
Were you afraid to ask for intimacy?
So, Renee, I got a question.
Go ahead. Renee, why don't you try to answer
Dale's
question?
Answer
Dale's question.
I got one for you too.
Okay. So first of all, no one, I don't care what partner you have, no one is going to make you 100% happy. No one. I don't care who it is. So for me, I have to make myself happy, number one. And I was happy in that relationship. I am a sexual person, so I wasn't getting fulfilled in that area, but I had a toy, so I wasn't going without. I just feel like, especially as being an older woman, it is hard to find somebody that's going to check all your boxes. And he checked 90% of my boxes. So if I had to, I knew he had a working part. So I just needed to get it back working.
Check the boxes, but didn't want the box.
I'm sorry. What'd you say, Will? I couldn't hear you. What'd you say, Will?
I shouldn't have used that. I knew that.
I said check the boxes, but didn't want the box.
Yeah, your box is
I guess
I keep that juice box.
Before
in biblical terms, I would have overflowed for your cup.
Hold on a second. So, did the man have like erectile dysfunction or something?
She said it was.
He had mental erectile dysfunction.
I don't think it wasn't working properly.
Oh, okay. So it was
kind of puts things in perspective.
Okay.
Because it could have been a self-esteem issue. It could have been.
So he wasn't able to rise to the occasion. Basically, I got you.
And he told me that after a long time of me wondering why, but after we had separated, he wanted to hook up, but I didn't. He wasn't having the problems then, so I don't know if it was just. Maybe he was overwhelmed and stressed.
So Renee, what's up? This is D. I got a question for you. So, I've been out, out and about doing my thing, just kicking it, whatever. And I came in contact with chicks who had my ring on. They see I was married. I'm talking to them. I'm gonna give you one occasion. Sitting at the bar, we're kicking and drinking, and we're talking, whatever. My ring on. She said, "I see you married." I said, "I am married." She said, "Iron sharp as iron." Another occasion was a woman told me, this is a woman, these ain't girls, said, "I know you're married, but I'd rather have some of your time than none of your time."
No.
Hear me out. You just said something that nobody's going to check all your boxes. So do you think women think like that because you know what? They understand nobody's going to check all your boxes. So hey, I'm a good man. They know I'm a good man. They know I'm married, been married for a while. You know what? Let me get some of his time versus being lonely and nobody time.
You made that the hell up. I don't want nobody.
Hey, I swear to God, I make this.
Nay, I like you. Nay, I like you.
That is not made up.
He knows.
Nay, I like you. I like you, Nay.
This is not made up, y'all.
Because you know that phony shit.
And I know you're not making it up.
That was not phony.
No, she talking about herself.
Desperate, you're right.
Those are some desperate women out there. I mean, and I'm
And I'm talking 40 over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure. And I'm 40 over. So at the end of the day, to me, there's no way in the world that's just tacky.
So is lonely being better? Is being lonely better than sometime?
I'm single now, and I'm not saying that it's the greatest, but I'd be damned if I get with somebody and that's married. There's no way. If I want to roll over and hold somebody, I want them to be there. I don't want, I got to go home to my wife.
So you rather roll? I agree with you. So you rather roll over and be by yourself than have somebody.
Yes, I will.
Good for you.
I will absolutely.
Good for you.
Because at the end of the day, I know that somebody's going to come eventually. I'm not an ugly woman, so you know what?
One day.
You're so childish.
One day.
Somebody gonna come eventually.
You're so childish, man.
Every day. I want.
It was funny.
Thanks for calling in. We appreciate it.
That was funny. But you know what? That is that's crazy, man.
I'm telling you, the streets is crazy, y'all.
That is crazy for 2 years. Not now having the ED piece of it. That makes sense. Yeah. That may explain some pieces of
parts of it, but not the whole story.
But even with the stress and everything, it just seems like, especially if he knew. See, here's what I'll say about this. When you're in a relationship, the more you give, the more you receive from on both sides. The more you pour into your partner, the more your partner is going to give back to you. So it's kind of like in a sense, you're pouring into that other person who's going to pour into you. So you're loving them, and they're going to love yourself. Basically, you know what I mean. So the more you put into them, the more they're going to put into you. But I guess that's where I'm kind of confused. Is like, so what? The guy, did he not know who you were? I mean, like, who you were as a person to maybe do some other things that didn't involve his junk. I mean, I don't know.
Because there's still ways to be able to do things. Even, I know it's not the greatest way, but I mean, if you're having problems getting it up, but there's still other things that you could do.
I'm tired of talking about his junk.
That's fine. But I guess my point is that it just seems like for 2 years the guy.
Hey man, listen. Some people just don't gotta have it, man. Let that shit go. Niggas like us, we need that shit, but
he couldn't let it go.
Definitely, dude. And he couldn't let it go, and she had an empty box.
I guess moving on. I guess. So as you transition away from that,
let me throw a new transition out there. Yeah. So when it comes to a woman and what they are looking for in a man, what is it as far as some of the things that you look for when it comes to a man trying to court you, and what will get that man further?
And before you answer that question, can you be honest? Don't give us the.
Don't sugarcoat it.
Don't give us the Oprah.
I'm not.
All right, thank you.
You get a question.
Okay. So for me personally, I look for somebody that I'm not going to have to. I have a standard of living that I like, and I don't want to go below that. So I want to keep that for me. That's one. I also want somebody that, at my age, that wants to travel, that wants to probably build a business. I'm thinking more of I want a teammate. I want a partner. I want somebody that's going to hustle, and we're going to grind to make some money and have a great life. That's where I'm at right now. And then I also want a best friend, and I also want somebody I can communicate with, and somebody that's going to have some great sex.
So your last relationship, you said the deacon checked off 90% of your boxes, correct?
Mm-hmm.
You gonna make? Are you going? I don't want to call it a mistake, a mistake. But is that what you're looking for this time? Somebody that's gonna check off Because I think you named off like 8 or 9 things. So are you going to look for somebody?
Not. I'm not gonna.
No, she won't. All she care about 50% of it.
I'm probably not going to find that. But they also say that if a woman finds a good man, then we can. I know I can help him become what I want him to become.
You do, and I'll agree to say that you do realize sometimes you may find 3 or 4 of those things you made check marks to, and once you dig a little deeper.
But if he has that go-getter, hustling mind, then I'm sure we can conquer. But sometimes people need to be guided too.
I'm all about. I wasn't the ideal type person.
You're still not the ideal
to be married to.
And you're still not the ideal person to be married to.
And I had some guidance, and it worked. So
she put a pistol to your head. That's what happened.
But if I have a great foundation to start
shit work,
with,
though.
then that's work. It's
a hell of a pistol. But Renee, you're right. Good foundation. You got him in the right direction. You guys get together and you conquer, and shit's great.
So, next question. Do you have a time frame? Is there a time frame? So you meet this guy, right? Let's say you meet this guy, next month. Is there a time frame that you give yourself or the relationship to start seeing that? Because like we all know, that first 6 months of a relationship is
the honeymoon phase.
It's the honeymoon. It's euphoria. You know what I'm saying? Everybody. Absolutely. He's doing all the things. He opening your car doors and he's dropping off flowers for.
I'm not opening no car doors.
All right, dude. That's not the point.
Extra steps, man. I'm not doing that.
That's why I say you got the ideal husband.
Hell no. I'm gonna get wet and you dry.
No,
I'm getting umbrella though. Anyway, I'm just playing.
Anyway, so like I said, that's my question. It was like, what the whole working with him, and then you said that earlier, is he has a good foundation y'all can build together. Yeah. What is that time frame to build? Because like I said earlier, I have female friends that's in relationships and they say the same exact thing. We're building this together. Like, babe, y'all been together 3 years and he still ain't doing shit. So it's like, what? Like, is there a number? Is there
because I mean, if you're vibing and everything's going right.
But let me tell you, man.
Yeah, I agree.
I say together, create timelines, create dates, and once you reach those milestones, hey, by this day here, we're gonna, I don't know, say it's a credit repair issue, okay? By this day here, our credit's gonna be at wherever it's gonna be. You're working together, but so for that, say it's a year. For that year, you're checking, you're doing this here, and you see progress. But I think if you don't see progress in what you're doing, sometimes it's just words. It's just a dream.
That's a good point. You gotta have the same mindset, though. I mean, both of you guys got to be on the same page and have the same mindset and know that that's what you're working towards. And also, in the beginning stages, people give you red flags, and those red flags,
you do gotta pay attention.
They're small in the beginning, and they be like, "Oh, that's just cute." And you just wave them down like, "Oh, he ain't mean that. He ain't mean to get smart or disrespectful or whatever." And then later on, he cussing you out and calling you all kind of bitches. So we ignore those red flags in the beginning, but those little things start to turn into big things and they start pissing you off and start irritating you later on. So you have to pay attention. So I'm a firm believer that when you see something in the beginning, I'm letting you know from the beginning, like, I didn't like the way you said that. You know what I'm saying? And then you do it again and you clearly that's just who you are. And I'm just going to go ahead and leave you right there and move on.
So Renee, ask you a question. How long?
Anime.
How long? How long were you married for?
I was married for a total of 10 years, but I was actually in the relationship for a total of almost 5.
Okay.
So
5 years.
What made you stay, I guess, legally married for that 10 years, even though y'all were only in it really for 5?
I have no idea why I did that, honestly. I really don't. Because we weren't together. He created a whole nother child. Well, his first kid. I don't know why I stayed married, honestly. I think at the time I had just built a house and I don't know, stupidity. I should have left him a long time ago.
Mm-hmm. So what did you learn anything from that?
not walking out the marriage sooner, or just staying married, or
just the relationship,
yeah,
the relationship,
the relationship overall.
I learned that just people normally, you have to take people for face value, and I try to really get to know somebody now before I try to jump into a relationship. I try to as much as possible.
And that actually brings up a question for me, because women do it more than men. Men, like you said, take it for face value. When men meet women, and kind of, when they show us who they are right then and there, we most of the time that's who we do. That's who you are.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? Now you can fake this way, fake that way, but that's who you are to us. So, but women doing the other hand, and you said it earlier about the red flags. So I just wondering, I don't know if you can answer the question or not, but why do women do that? As far as don't recognize the red flags, don't pay attention to the red flags, or don't take the person at face value? Like why? Because you're not the only one that does that.
I mean, not to cut you off, but I mean, it still goes both ways, because men will see the same red flags and be like, just because she's pretty, I'm going to keep going at this, or just because sex is bomb, I'm going to keep going with this, or just because she's smart. I'm going to keep going with this.
I love smart, too.
Oh, smart.
I love smart. Get me, man.
Smart.
Oh, damn. Sorry. Love fucking smart.
So, I mean, it truly does go both ways in that.
Dumb, that's why.
Hell yeah.
You got somebody to bounce your dumb ass out.
You damn right. Yeah, I'm smart. I'm a smart nigga that know I need a smart motherfucker.
Hey, you I give you that one.
Fuck with me.
I give you that one.
But,
I can count.
It's just that we, like I said, on both sides, we choose to ignore these things for reasons for out of lust, or out of, just not seeing through things. And that's how we get in those relationships. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, for me, one of my things is the world is stressful enough. I want to come home and, my significant other to be, my peace, serenity, everything that's right in the world.
And that's what it should be.
You come home and it just everything's right because you came home, and that's the type of relationships that, we look at trying to build and maintain with that.
I'm the type that, and I think I said it on Facebook one time, if my husband wants a redhead, then I'm going to be a redhead. If he wants a blonde, then I'm going to be that. So whatever you want or whatever you desire, I will do that. But I need to know what your desires are. And I feel like if both parties put in that equal amount of effort in a relationship, it will work. And if you say, today, I want to tie you up, then, hey, where's the whoop at?
Oh, Renee.
Renee.
Oh, Renee.
Renee, can I ask you a question?
Oh, I'm so married.
Let me ask you a question, girl. So why do you? It seems like you are a very interesting person. I say that. So why do you find? I guess you say that you're single right now. Do you find that it's challenging to find men that hit on 50% of your check boxes?
She does.
Yeah.
That's why they want some of that time instead of all your time. This real talk. I ain't making this shit up, man. I've heard this on multiple occasions that, hey, you a good guy, you doing good things. Niggas out here is raw. They lying, they ain't doing shit. So to fuck with a nigga that's 50% real, hey, you married. I know you married. I know what I'm getting into.
Come shoot this club up.
Flat out.
But my thing is, that's
dry.
And I mean, at the end of the day,
I know it's fucked up.
If
but
I'm just going to fuck somebody, I know plenty of people
remember,
I can get some good dick from.
But they ain't looking to fuck. They're looking for a part-time relationship. So you talking about fucking. They ain't looking for fucking. They want a part-time.
But how are you giving them?
I ain't doing shit. Let's clarify shit right now. I ain't doing shit. I'm not doing nothing. Fuck that shit.
These are hypothetics.
These are jokes.
These are hypothetics.
My wife listens to this podcast.
This shit. I ain't getting in trouble.
Fuck that shit for nobody.
Hey, Renee, we about to cut you off, baby. You about to mess our life up, baby.
I ain't doing shit. I'm just telling you what the streets telling me.
The streets is talking.
Well, Okay, so I'm asking, how would a married man do that then?
In my opinion, a married man would probably
heard,
what my nigga told me. That nigga Debo said. That nigga said that, you know what, man? She know I'm married, so she know from 5 p.m. to 7 a.m. don't call me, and she willing to play that game. I agree, but I'm telling you what
there are people out there that are willing to do that.
Breaks down, that's wacky. Because if my car breaks down, and I'm got a whole part-time man that I supposedly have,
but you got full-time AAA.
You got full because that
he said you got what?
You got full-time AAA.
That's right.
That nigga so cold he bought you AAA.
That's right. He said, you know what, baby? I'm gonna pay for your AAA, girl. Don't even worry about it.
That shit cold. Hit that button again. No.
I definitely feel you, and honestly, I'm glad you are saying that. I'm glad that there are still women out there because I'm married too, and I work at a place where it is a whole lot of women, and they say the same thing that Dee is saying. They hey, that I know you married. Some of them even know my wife, and they be like, but you know, if all you got is every other Saturday, I'll take it.
It's better. It's better. I know it sounds tacky, but I'm telling you, man. Think about this. When is the last time you been on a date?
Girl, I'll tell you what's tacky. It's 2 years and not.
Yeah, that was tacky. I agree.
I mean, we gonna talk about tacky.
It was tacky. It was.
I'm so glad you called.
Let me ask you a question. You got any single friends?
Do I have any single friends?
Yeah. No, and
like are they the friends that you have? Are they single or are they married or like who like? Do you find it hard to?
I got 2 best friends. They're married.
Okay.
And then I got a couple single girlfriends, but they're more acquaintances.
So your closest friends is already married.
Correct.
All right. Okay. I can see how that could be a challenge because you'd have to be going out with the acquaintances, do single things, or you be going out by yourself because you're really not going to go out.
I don't go out.
Well, I know with the COVID stuff.
It's COVID. Nobody going out.
No, I'm not a go out person.
So, okay.
She met the deacon.
So I do
she met him online. That's why. Yeah. That's true.
I do online dating.
That's you know what? So that's something different. Say our age, someone been married or for a long time, and now they're single.
Yeah, I can't even put myself. I can't even wrap my head around being in a situation like.
So how do they meet
now.
someone? Because you're right. You speak of online. If you're, for instance, my people I know, we're very social people. Now you got to date online. That's how. Talk to me about that.
About dating online?
Oh,
yeah,
please,
I don't
let me know.
I'd have to go out.
I don't know shit about that. I know about talking to motherfuckers.
Yeah, I had to go out.
Well, I mean, first, for me, being a woman, I talked to a person online for a while. I chat with them for a couple weeks, and then we may video chat or, through text throughout the day or whatever for a couple weeks. And then we may meet out. We go out to dinner, and that's like basically it's still kind of like dating. It's no different if you would pick up somebody in a grocery store.
It is different.
You can see mannerisms. You can't see mannerisms kind of through the keyboard.
You can't see that. You can I can see when you walk.
You can proofread your text.
That
just sounds stupid.
Y'all looking more at the physical. Y'all looking at the physical part.
Yeah, but even on the physical side of it, though, you can still understand how somebody responds to what you say, how they respond to it. You learn a lot more about them than just someone online and texting. You know what I mean?
Well, normally that's like the initial phase. You don't do that the entire time. So you are having phone conversation and you can hear the tone of their voice and you can you FaceTime and then you do meet.
Oh, so FaceTime.
Which is cool. I'm just saying.
I mean, that's the new COVID dating, FaceTime dating.
That's some different shit though. Like online dating. I'm from the era where you ride around your car every day and you see somebody walking down the street, you pull over.
Man, you
that's how I know my baby mama.
He said a horse and buggy.
Picked up a girl on the back of the horse and buggy.
Like, whoa.
It wasn't a buggy. It just sounded like it. I ain't no money.
Whoa.
Hey, look, though. Hey, look. And my shit sounded like a buggy, but guess what? They was walking. It's better than walking. Shit, get your ass in this buggy.
So let me ask this,
We got inside jokes.
Renee.
Sorry.
So, if the best advice that you could give, seeing that you've been married, now you're single, within the married world, and then we're going to do the single. What is the best advice that you could give a man to make sure that that relationship stays 100?
Always communicate.
One.
Always. Well, okay. My first thing would be, because I'm a firm believer in God, have God lead in your marriage. Number one. Number two, communicate. Be honest. And if your partner is saying things that bother you or bother them, then to take those things into consideration, even if you don't feel like you're doing them wrong. Try, if you really want to work for your marriage, then you try to change it, or and you have to consciously put an effort in changing it. And then try to work it out as best as possible. Try counseling, but you have to put in a real hard effort in a marriage. It's not. It's work. It's honest. It's real work.
So say you've been through a lot of those steps. You've been through trying to talk things out. You've been through counseling. You've been through other mediums and things like that. And just say for just, shits and giggles, I mean, things still aren't quite where they used to be or trying to be where you get. Then what's your advice?
So it depends on if it's not where they need to be because of both parties, or if it's not because they need to be because of one party.
Shit, go both situations.
So if it's both parties, then I think you both need to come together and really evaluate if you want that marriage.
Yeah, I think that's big there. People have to both be going for the same goal. You know what I mean? They both got to be lockstep with that piece.
You have to be, because I'm not going to live with somebody and have to go out and go deal with a stressful job and a stressful world and then come home and be miserable too. You have to have some peace and happiness somewhere in life. And I feel like that should be your home, and your family should always provide that for you.
Speak, girl. You talking that shit.
She talking that shit.
She talking that shit, nigga. Woo, be careful.
Now, on the single aspect of that, we talked about the marriage aspect. Now the single aspect. The best advice you can give these young men out here in this world, and even some of these older cats who still can't get right.
Yeah, that's who it is. These old brothers.
Hey, nigga,
the young cats still got time on their hands.
Yeah, they do.
They making mistakes, but they can learn from them. Them old heads, they be like falling on the same.
The niggas don't.
They made the same mistake.
They don't want to change.
At the Savoyan DS.
Exactly.
So what's the advice for you would give to some of the single guys?
For a single person, I guess it would be honest. I'm a person from the very beginning. I tell people how I am. It may be on the first date. I tell you all my flaws, all my positives, and I basically leave it on the table, good or bad. And to me, I feel like if everybody comes to the table in the very beginning and tell you,
let me give you advice.
That's probably why you don't got no
I'm gonna give advice from what an old player told me one day. Don't tell me your flaws on the first date.
Please, baby.
Because
then you ain't.
A good player,
You ain't
a good
listening.
man, go listen to flaws. He go adjust his game
And
to
you
fit your flaws, and you lose.
No,
Real talk.
because at the end of the day,
No,
my
telling you.
flaws, I'm a spoiled brat. That could be a flaw.
Don't tell me that,
It's a
because
flaw to my ex.
I ain't gonna spoil you.
No.
Oh, well, then if
No,
you ain't-
no.
I'm telling you.
Because she's a spoiled brat. A true player would be like,
you-
let me do extra. I'm gonna spoil the shit
You
out of
don't
her,
know me.
and you gonna fall. She's
You
gonna
don't know
fall
me.
into it.
But that's
You don't know.
but that's only if you're not looking long term. If you're looking long term, a true player, you're right, man. Let me spoil you extra, get what
Exactly
I can.
what I can, because
fuck it, I'm done.
I know you a
That's
spoiled
true.
brat.
That's
so
true, man.
because you're a spoiled
That's
brat,
true, brother.
I'm gonna spoil the hell out of you.
You a true
earlier.
player, man.
No, I'm not. I'm not, honey. No, I'm not.
telling you.
No, I'm not, honey. Listen to me. I know you're listening. I am not a player. That's just what I heard, babe. That's just what I heard. Dude told me that.
Know what you say, Renee?
I said, not for me. If they don't spoil me, they won't be around long.
So basically,
I mean, I can spoil myself, but I mean, everybody has a love language, and I know my 3 love languages.
What's yours?
So I'm telling you, I'm a person of word of affirmation. I'm gift giving, and what is my other one? Jesus, I can't remember my third one.
Did you know him?
Hey, I'm gonna tell you one that ain't.
Affection. It's affection. I can't think of what it was.
Affection.
It definitely ain't personal touch.
So I'm with you. Hey.
It ain't personal. It ain't touch.
Affection. I'm with you. I'm
gonna let that 2 years go.
It is affection.
Hell no, bro. Hell no.
It's called personal touch.
Nah, that ain't that.
Yeah, that's what it is. I couldn't think of what it is. It is called that. Something. It's like it is called that.
Yeah, we
I couldn't think of what it was.
real niggas read the book.
You got that right.
We ain't no fool.
Hold on.
2 players.
You took the test too?
Oh, hell, I did. Mine is touch and gift giving. I love giving gifts.
Yeah, mine is what is it?
Damn, what was
Touch
mine?
and actions.
Actually,
Yeah,
Okay.
Mine
Like
was
action.
my first one was words of affirmation. Then it was touch. Then it was damn. I can't remember.
let's see. I don't give a fuck what you say to me.
Really?
I don't give a fuck, dude.
You mean that?
I-
You mean that?
My wife told me, act. Nigga,
You really
I'm telling
mean that?
you, I don't give a fuck.
Can you say that one more time?
Nigga, you woke up. Nigga woke up.
Tales from the crypt.
Nigga woke up. Oh my. Well, hey y'all, let's welcome the professor.
Hey,
How's everybody doing?
What we got, Nick?
I just about to wrap it up.
See that's the voice of a hardworking man. Take care of his family, work day and night.
Yeah.
To make sure he can provide.
And keep the box filled up.
All right.
I keep
All right.
that
Before
juice box,
we
boy.
leave, hey Renee, I just want to, on behalf of Black
Appreciate
and Thought,
you.
we definitely want to. We thank you for
Yeah,
your
we
call.
appreciate
Thank you
the
for your
call.
information. Thank you for your insight. I hope we didn't mess with you too much, but we just want to thank you
No, you're fine.
for calling. We definitely appreciate
And we
it.
look forward to the next time we talk to you.
Yes.
Very
All right, well, you
insightful
guys have-
conversations and things like
Thanks,
that.
Nay.
Thank you. Thank you.
And honestly, I mean this. I hope you find somebody.
I do. I
Thank
do.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And on that note,
And that
what we're going to do now is Black in Thought. Not too much to leave you in thought with on this one. We just, I mean, shit, I don't know. I ain't even got no fucking words for this shit. And on that note, we out.
One.
You know I'm flawed, but you love me anyway. A lot of times I'm so wrong, but you love me anyway. That's why you're my buddy.
Thank you for listening to this episode, and we want you to come back for more. If you like what you heard, please subscribe wherever you get your podcasts from. We're on all the major networks: Apple, Google, TuneIn, Spotify, and many more. Check out our social media, and please like, follow, and comment on Facebook, Black in Thought, Instagram, Black in Thought Podcast, and Twitter, Black in Thought Podcast. Please subscribe, share, and once again, thank you for listening.
You know I'm flawed, but you love me